guys, I'm Juliana, your automotive woman, and this week I'm behind the wheel of the newly introduced 2022 Hyundai Kona. So I'm going to do what I always do, take you for a walk around, have a closer look at that interior, finish it off with my final impressions. But you have to make sure you're connecting with me on social media because I have an amazing summer planned and you don't want to miss any behind the scenes action. Similar to the Hyundai Elantra N, the Kona N is all new for 2022. This first ever high-performance subcompact SUV from Hyundai is very impressive with its standard driver-assisted technology, performance-tuned suspension, and launch control. But don't confuse this N model with other Kona trims, specifically the N-Line, which is more of an appearance package. Standard features on the Kona N include an automatic-only transmission with only front-wheel drive available, LED lights up front and in the rear, enhanced styling with a blacked-out front grille and a small rooftop spoiler, larger standard 19-inch wheels, aggressive brakes with performance Pirelli P0 tires, a sport-tuned suspension, and Hyundai SmartSense, which includes a suite of driver-assisted technology. And just like the Elantra N, this subcompact SUV also has the 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo 8-speed dual-clutch transmission. It produces 276 horsepower with 289 pound-feet of torque, but when you activate N-Grin Shift Overboost, you receive 10 extra horsepower for 20 seconds. But most importantly, how's it sound in N Sport mode? Hit it! Amazing! I just mentioned it, but don't confuse the N model for the N-Line trim. Again, the N-Line is more an appearance package, but if all-wheel drive is important to you, then I'll provide links down below because the N-Line Kona all-wheel drive is available and it's actually more affordable. But why I love the N? Several reasons, but first the exterior. It looks fantastic. I'll start with a blacked out emblem up front, surrounded by that blacked out aggressive looking front grille. You have the larger wheel and tire combination, and then these side skirts, no matter which color you choose to purchase for your Kona, on the N trim, these side skirts are always going to remain red. And then I love that little spoiler up top. Diffuser looks really, really good, and of course, dual tips. It looks great. But here's a fast fact for you. There's several different driving modes available on the Kona, but one is snow mode, providing you with an extra layer of safety when temperatures dip. And to that point, pay attention at time of purchase, because just like the Elantra N, the Kona also comes equipped with summer performance tires. Only this time these are Pirellis, whereas the Elantra N were Michelin's. So when temperatures do dip, this combination will not work well for you. So negotiate a second set of tires at least. Specific to the Kona N model, Hyundai suggests do not tow anything. So that includes a small light trailer, a Sea-Doo, a snowmobile, whatever it is. Even before you go installing a bike rack back here, speak to your Hyundai specialist to ensure you are not voiding your warranty. But if you're going on a road trip or camping and you want to put items on top of your roof, you can. There's a max cargo weight capacity of 150 pounds, so that's pretty decent. Now, keeping everything simplistic back here, because Hyundai is really focusing this model on technology and performance, you don't receive too much, okay, but it's still pretty decent. So when it comes to the tailgate, this is manual to open, okay? There is no power operation button. There's not even anything on your key fob except for unlocking it. You do receive, however, a small light on the side. Your seats fold in a 60-40 split. A cargo cover is standard, which I love a cargo cover. And underneath your trunk floor, well, if you want to place smaller items, you can. But what I like is underneath here, you can even hide items. This is also where you'll find your tire mobility kit. Believe it or not, the Kona N is the first ever subcompact crossover SUV I've reviewed that offers less leg space than its smaller sedan sibling. And in this case, I'm speaking about the Elantra N. The Elantra N has close to 3 inches more of leg space available, but if you asked me which vehicle I prefer to take on a road trip, I'd say Kona N, without a doubt. Offers a lot more convenience back here, connectivity, and just overall comfort for each individual. Now, if you're traveling with adults, I mean, they might whine about space, especially if you're over 5'8" back here. Remember, if you're familiar with my channel, I'm 5'3", so I fit comfortably well everywhere. So, you know, leg space, roof space is fine for me. But if you have a small family, I mean, the kids are gonna enjoy it back here. Like, it is really quite comfortable. Now, in terms of storage, I prefer it when manufacturers do not include a storage pocket behind the driver's seat because there's less kicking, less distraction. But the front passenger seat does have a small pocket. The storage on the sides of the door, it's really good for maybe 1 cup or bottle holder, and I love how the Kona has an armrest for backseat passengers, whereas the Elantra didn't, and you also have your traditional cup or bottle holders. Connectivity, you have 1 USB port and also a small pocket, and this is where I've been leaving my chapsticks, or if you have a small family, you can place small candy back here. Full transparency, Hyundai disappointed me by not offering a power liftgate, but they made up for it by offering a remote starter as standard on your key fob or through your Hyundai digital key, and this will allow you to preheat or cool your cabin. And to activate it on your key fob, first you have to lock the doors and then immediately hold the hold button. And again, your Hyundai digital key, you can sync that to your mobile device, and that's really nice. Now, these seats are heated, they're not ventilated. The passenger side is manual to operate, and the driver's side is power operated. And to turn on the heating for your seats, those buttons are located down here. Also, check with your Hyundai specialist about the option to include a heated steering wheel because it may or may not be available in your market. Now, if you watch my Elantra N video, you already know I absolutely love the N styling steering wheel. It has so much character, great grip. I absolutely love it. And it's all easy to use. On the left-hand side, you have your voice commands, your Bluetooth, the buttons for your radio. You even have the upgraded Harman Kardon audio sound system in here. It sounds amazing. And Sirius XM is offered complimentary for 3 months, so that's nice. Underneath those buttons, you'll see an N letter that's not colored in. That's your N Sport mode. And you can change that right on the fly. Now, on the right-hand side, this is where you'll find your cruise control with steering assist, and it's connected to your Hyundai Smart Sense technology. And some of those features include frontal collision warning with pedestrian detection, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, a rear view camera, and cross traffic alert, just to name a few. Then underneath those buttons, you'll have another N letter, this time colored in. And then underneath there, you have NGS, N-Grin Shift Overboost. And this provides you with your 10 extra horsepower for 20 seconds. It's awesome. Now, every Kona N model is fully digital, both screens. So your digital driver cluster is just that. It's digital, it's well lit. Everything is illustrated quite clearly. I'm actually quite happy that there's no heads-up display because then it would just be distracting. But that's my own personal opinion with that. Moving over to your infotainment system, it's something that I've reviewed a couple times. It's so easy to use in the Hyundai. It's a 10.25-inch touchscreen. It's also a swipe through. 2 icons that I recommended that you go through in the Elantra with your Hyundai specialist, and that I also recommend you go through with your Hyundai specialist in the Kona, is your setup icon. Go through your setup icon and then push a vehicle icon. And this is where you'll be able to adjust some of those driver assisted technology features that you might not like when they're beeping too much, okay? It takes less than 5 minutes to set all that up. You're paying for that feature, so just take your time with it. And then the other icon, which is the best, is your N mode. Remember, this is a touch screen and a swipe through. This particular screen is 2 additional screens, okay? And this is where you'll be able to set up your exhaust note sound, okay? Transmission, steering, your engine, your electronic stability control, okay? You can adjust that to your driving preference. This is also where you can activate your launch control. It's amazing. Also with this system, you receive navigation as standard, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and underneath here, where your climate control panel is, you have wireless mobile charging. This is standard in this vehicle, so that's amazing. Connectivity, way more up here, so super convenient. A few more features before we hit the road. Storage, again, very simplistic, minimal. It's a little bit more up here than it is for rear seat passengers. Of course, you have your two traditional cup holders right here, and then your armrest is quite small. And if you don't like all the fingerprints, because it is a touch screen, remember you have hard buttons, but also just keep a microfiber cloth with you. I sell these on my website too. Just look at the links down below. So like I mentioned, you have your driving mode button down here as well, or sorry, your drive mode knob. Again, you can change it all on the fly, but this is only available in automatic, the Kona N. It's an 8-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. You can put it in manual mode and use your paddle shifters, which I prefer. That said, let's hit the road so I can provide you with my final driving impressions from this past week. And I absolutely love how this vehicle is styled. I love the blacked out trim with the emblem, the aggressive grille, the side skirts, the rooftop spoiler, diffuser, the dual tips, and that exhaust note. It all looks and sounds amazing, but from the interior standpoint, my only annoyance here is the armrest. The armrest is too small for short people, okay? Because I have to pull my seat all the way forward, I lose the majority of that armrest, right? If you're taller, I mean, then it's fine for you. But that's my only annoyance, that's it. But as for driving, remember this is a sport tuned suspension, so you're gonna feel all the bumps and the cracks and everything with the road. And then you combine that with your low profile tires and you're gonna feel everything. I mean, but remember, Hyundai provides you with driving modes. If you don't like aggressive steering or your suspension being a bit more aggressive, I mean, just turn those things off and it's fine. I've had absolutely zero problem with it. And like I mentioned, I've actually preferred putting it into manual mode and then using my paddle shifters. Okay, I feel as though it provides you more control over your RPM and you're able to conserve fuel a bit more, but again, that's just my preference. If you want to leave it in automatic mode, I mean, you can do that too. If you use your paddle shifters and you're using manual mode, you have to remember to change the gears because it doesn't change the gears for you. Now, sound quality in here, again, if you have that exhaust note turned all the way up, and again, with the low profile tires, you know, hear a lot. It is really, really loud in here. I don't mind it from an exhaust note standpoint because you're paying for that and I want to hear that feature, but like I said, Hyundai could do a little bit better with the sound quality in here. And then for visibility, it's good out the front and sides, and usually I'm not a fan of the infotainment system protruding out of the dash because that screws up your line of sight, but it doesn't in this one because the infotainment system is quite lower. Now, you do have a blind spot. Okay, out those rear side windows, pay attention because even though Hyundai provides you with a small triangular window extension there, it doesn't really work well, okay? So look over your shoulder when you're switching lanes. Make sure you have your blind spot monitoring set up. Take advantage of that technology. And I recommend just taking an extra second and setting up your side mirror. You know, put it a little bit wider and then you'll be able to see it just fine. But what I like to do in all my videos is recommend a test drive because test drives are complimentary. So I'll provide all links down below so you can find your closest Hyundai dealership. But for now, I'm Juliana, your automotive woman. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss How To Tuesday or Feature Car Friday. Thanks for watching, guys.